Hello and welcome back to Frame Nature. Today I'm making a sealed terrarium. So far I've got the carbon in the bottom. I've also got this layer of aquarium sponge which I've cut down to shape, which I'm using as a divider between the soil and the carbon. I've also got these little bits of spiderwood which I've broken off of a piece which I intend on using on my aquarium, but I thought these might be quite nice to use inside here, so we'll see how they turn out, how we turn out using them. But now we need to go out into the garden and find some plants and some soil, and also some rocks as well. I think some rocks might be nice. I've just noticed this ladybird on the dining room table as I've come out. Anyway, let's go outside. There's the pond, looking quite dead at the moment. This plant seems to be growing low along the floor, so it could be cool as a foreground plant, so we'll take that. I've found this patch of moss at the back of my garden, so I'm going to try and take some of this with me. I found this little plant here. I've got no idea what it is or how big it grows to, but I quite like the look of it, so we're going to take that. I've just come across this plant here, which if I'm not mistaken is the same as the one that I've already collected. So if it does grow to be as big as that, we might need to do some trimming at some point. I've just been collecting some rocks to use as hardscape. Oh, there's a spider there. I just noticed this thing here. If I just shield it, can you see it better? There we go. So I think I'm going to take that. That could be quite nice to use. This is quite an interesting sprawling plant. It's quite large compared to my hand, but I think if we take a small portion of this, it could be used quite nicely. It's actually quite hard to find a piece with a decent bit of root on, but managed to get these two little pieces here with decent roots, so we'll give them a go. But I think we've got enough materials now, so we'll head back inside and we'll see what we can make of all of this. Looking good. Right, we're back inside. I think the first thing we need to do is to get some soil in. So let's go ahead and do that. We've got our carbon in, we've got our aquarium sponge in, which is going to separate the carbon from the soil. So we're ready to put the soil in. Get a nice layer of soil. It doesn't want to be too thick, but again, it doesn't want to be too thin. So let's try do 3 teaspoons. How's that looking? We'll do 4. We'll do 4 teaspoons. I'll pat that down a bit. That's nice. I'm also going to angle it so it's deeper at the back than it is at the front. Okay, so I've just given the rocks a quick rinse. Now I'm going to just start placing them into the terrarium in a way which is aesthetically pleasing. I think this big one at the front would look nice, gives it a sense of depth. Just the way that perspective works, but the big one at the front, it kind of makes everything at the back look like it's further away. So we'll put that big one there. Maybe this one can go just behind it. Just there. Maybe one more. We'll put a small one at the front as well. Just something like that. So we've collected 4 types of plants. I think the moss will be the majority of what takes up this terrarium, but we need to figure out how we can use these plants. This one obviously likes to grow as a stem, growing tall, so that one should be used at the back. As well as these, out in the wild, they seem to be very low to the ground, but if you compare that to the size of the terrarium, it actually seems quite tall, so maybe we could use that at the back as well. Not what I had in mind, but now that I've seen it in comparison, it kind of seems more suitable as a background plant. But this is definitely a foreground plant. It's growing very, very flat. So we can use this at the front. This one here, sorry. We can use this at the front. as well as the moss. So I'm going to break this moss down into the nicest bits that I've collected, and we'll see where we can put that. We'll start with the moss. Okay, I've got this bit here. I'm thinking this might go nice along this right hand side, sprawling over this front rock here. So I'm going to just try and place this in at a decent angle. So I'm quite happy with where I've placed that moss. I think it looks nice along that right side. I'm now going to try and place this plant here in the front here on the left hand side. So there we are, that's in the corner there. Now my mum's just informed me that this plant here actually gets quite large. So we're going to discard this. I think it'll be a mistake to use this plant. So instead we're going to try and plant this at the back. This is going to be our background plant. We've got two of them. Obviously their roots are far too big at the moment, so we're just going to chop their roots off a little bit. And we'll see if we can find somewhere to put these. I think back left is my best bet. I'll do the biggest one at the back left. Use this one. So that one's in there. We'll do the other one right next to it as well. Now there are going to be some gaps here, so I think we can go ahead and fill in these extra gaps with more moss. Let's put this one in as well. There we go. So there's a nice bush there at the back there. Now, but yeah, there's some gaps. If you look down from the top, it's quite a big gap there. So I'm going to try and put some more moss in that gap there. This piece of moss here is growing like a stem, so I'm going to plant this vertically and try to get some height in the back of the terrarium. So I'm going to plant it almost like this up against the glass in hopes that it will continue growing in that direction. So I've filled the back in and I've put that tall piece going up the glass there. I've noticed there's a gap along the front. And I found this piece of moss here, so I'm going to try and use that along the front of the terrarium. Now I need to try and figure out where these pieces of spider wood can go. I think starting at this front left corner and going to the back right corner might look nice for this piece. This piece might be a bit too long. Maybe we could cut it smaller and use it, but at the moment it's definitely too long. And this piece is very small, so it's just going to be like a little accent piece. But we'll start off with this piece. This is the piece I've got the best idea for. I think if we put it front left like that. Yeah. And then we'll use that other smaller piece, the accenting piece. Maybe underneath, like so. Yeah. Where can we put the snail? There we go. I think we're done. So the only thing left to do is to add some water and put the lid on. So there is actually already moisture in the soil, so we don't want to make it too damp. Now, the reason why we have got the divider and then the carbon at the bottom is to hold a reservoir of water. So we want to put a little bit of water in, just so that we never need to open the lid to actually water the plants, but we don't want to drown the terrarium. So I'm just going to put in 1 teaspoon of water. I'm going to do 2 teaspoons of water. I think that will be enough. And then we put the cork on. On it goes. And there we have it. Sealed terrarium. I'm very happy with that. This is actually going to be a gift to my girlfriend for Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day. Hope she likes it. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. This has been Frame Nature. Hope you've enjoyed the video. I have actually got 2 more jars, one more this size, and then a big 3 litre jar. So expect them videos in the future. I'll see you soon, bye.